process now. I hit that. There we go. Got to hit now.
Effing process.
All right, cool. Go ahead and set your people up, and I'm gonna step in a sec. Go ahead.
Bow. All right, I am going live, which means I am live, which means hi everybody. It's Jeff and it's Voch and it's Scoutkast, and I got to give you a fair warning. This is gonna go 27 minutes tonight. 27 minutes because I wanted to get it in, but Hellman wanted to go watch the Cowboys or the Mavericks and drink beer, and you know what? I thought that sounded really good tonight, and watch the Mavericks is part of my job. So I'm going to do that. But I'm here. Voch is here. We're counting bricks. We're stacking bricks. We're looking at bricks. And it's an honor and a privilege to be here with you, everybody.
I find this so peculiar, right? So interesting
What?
that when we want to watch these boring ass DBs, or when we want to watch these uninteresting safeties, or these handful of D tackles that we can't rank, oh, Jeff is here every day, all day, every day. We on 7:00 on the dot, we good to go. But when it's time to talk offensive line, all of a sudden we care about our job now. All of a sudden basketball exists. All of us. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, you want me to be honest, Voch? Here's what happened.
Talk to me.
Last night, I woke up at 2:30 a.m. because I had a nightmare. I don't remember what the nightmare was about, but I woke up scared. So I walked to the kitchen. I grabbed 2 paring knives. I went back into the bedroom. I set them on the end table. It took me about an hour to get back to sleep. I slept like crap. And then I woke up this morning, and then we had the presser, and then we did the show, and I was feeling a little bit drained. And I was like, you know what? It sounds like a great idea to get away, to just watch the game, have some beers. It sounds great. And then the other part of me was like, yeah, but you also really want to do Scoutkast. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do both. And then I'm going to sleep my nuts off, okay? So you know what? If next week we want to do 17 more hours on offensive line, we can do it because I know you got takes to get off. Voch has takes.
Jeff grabbed
T-A-E-K-S.
Jeff grabbed a paring knife. All right, cool. Let's get it. You
2 of them. I grabbed 2 of them.
You live in Texas, sir. You should get a firearm. But let's boogie, man. We're gonna get a little bit of offensive line talk today. About 30 minutes or so, then we're gonna move on. If we got a part 2 next week, we will part 2 it. I've watched thousands of them, Jeff. So I don't know who you've watched. So you can run down your list, and I'm ready to boogie with whoever it is. First of all, let me just do this for all the people that's watching right now. Dak Prescott got his money, so let's just, you know what I'm saying. One time,
so send us your money.
One time for the and we just here to celebrate that. Go ahead, brother Jeff. Hit me with your offensive line.
All right, because you bothered me and made me watch offensive linemen. I have now seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like 9 guys, 10 guys, something like that.
Okay.
And I'll start off with the obvious. At least I think this is the obvious. Shout out to Frankie, Scoutcast, best Cowboys content on YouTube. He says. Shout out to my guy Formula. Tell me about Tonga, the D tackle out of BYU. I'll get there. Broadus tells me I need to watch that guy too, so I get there. Voch might already be there. I don't know. Nope. I will say this: if Penei Sewell or Rashawn Slater is there, you can pick them, and I'm happy. I know everybody wants defense. You can pick them. I'm happy. Same with Kyle Pitts. And by the way, same with Jalen Waddle. Now that I'm done studying the Alabama receivers, same with Jalen Waddle. But probably unrealistic. Probably. I don't know. Steven said.
We need a long show. We need a long show to talk about that, Jeff, because I saw Steven said in particular, hey, man, we ain't got to be tied down in the night. You know what I mean? We may get offense. You don't know what we going to do. You know what I'm saying?
He said defense 1,000,000 times, but he also said you got to keep an open mind because that's how CeeDee Lamb happened. So I'm like, who's he talking about? Rashawn Slater, Kyle Pitts, Penei Sewell? I don't know who he's talking about. Jalen Waddle? I don't know. I don't know who he's talking about. But I have now seen the first round guys, and I'll tell you, I got 4 first round offensive tackles. I have 4.
Okay.
Sewell, Slater, and to me, those are 1A, 1B. I don't care. I love them both. Slater's a better player today. Sewell maybe becomes a better player. And just saying that out loud, hold on, I'm flipping an order here. Slater and then Sewell.
See, now, Jeff, that's why you my guy. That's why you one half of Scoutkast, Jeff. See, we can't just continue to go by I'm doing this just because national media person says this. If you watch the film, what you're going to walk away from with Penei Sewell, and don't get me wrong, Penei Sewell is incredible. But
you'll say he's a great prospect, but Slater's a better player today.
You're going to walk away saying, you know what, I wish those feet were better. I wish those hands were better. I wish that effort was a little, you know what I'm saying? I wish he was more consistent with his technique, boom, boom, boom. But he's bigger and stronger than anybody I've seen and faster than anybody I've seen at that size ever.
Big, strong, fast, long, dominated as a 19-year-old. Like, that's a hell of a resume.
But every problem I got with Sewell right now, Slater got that got the level 10 of it. He has the level 10 of it. And,
for sure.
And if you watch all of the Big Ten games, Slater whoops everybody. If you look at like a Mortal Kombat like tier boss fight thingamajig, he smokes every single Michigan State child, all the little Minnesota children, and then you go Chase Young film. Oh, well, this is the big test. Okay, cool. This is the big test. And even though Northwestern got blown out by 48 points, it wasn't because Chase was impactful. He proceeds to smoke Chase Young for 4 quarters, sir. I don't know what more you need from a scouting report to have O-line 1 or tackle number 1 for that guy.
No, I agree with you. I just think, by the way, shout out to Human Being. Let's go. He says more mocks. You know damn well I'm going to do 7,000 more mocks. They say on Pro Football Focus, there's been 400,000 Cowboy mocks. I did 2,300 of those. Okay. And I got more coming for you, Human Being. Okay. Yeah. Rashawn Slater. I just think and look, people loving Sewell, that's totally cool. There's so much to love about Penei Sewell. Sure. I just think that people got to realize when you talk about him, talk about Slater the same way, because they are both awesome prospects. Slater just isn't built like some teams think a tackle should be. And I think that's what he's getting dinged for. Like, your arms are 33 inches instead of 35, and you're not 6'6", but he's a monster. He's a stud. He's amazing. He's going to be a great left tackle. If somebody tells you to move him to guard, tell him shut up. So you go to guard if you fail at tackle. So the end.
I've talked about this a little bit on my channel, but just for your audience, just in case somebody hasn't heard me say this, I hate when we're doing draft stuff and we go, oh, this person isn't ... and the person picks the anomaly. Oh, well, Joe Thomas got short arms. Okay, well, for every Joe Thomas, there's 1,000 short-armed offensive linemen that just don't work, because that's just how the game works, right? But we actually have visual evidence, you know what I'm saying, of Rashawn Slater. He makes his short arms work. How do you do that? You just don't miss with your hands. There was this problem La'el Collins had, and La'el Collins got long ass arms. But if you miss with your hands, people get inside your chest, and that seems to be the big idea with arm length. So if you go against these long arm DNs, you would like to have long arms to mitigate that. But Rashawn Slater, with his hand patience, with his hand placement, with his slap moves, with his there's this little move you can watch in the Chase Young film. That's the only film you need to watch. You actually see Chase Young get the long arm advantage, and you'll see Rashawn Slater just calmly grab his outside shoulder and pull it, and Chase starts to turn, and then just Rashawn Slater's arms just naturally get a little longer because Chase's arms get a little shorter. If you got technique and nuance like that, I don't care about these people that's saying, oh, well, Penei Sewell's 19. You know who else was 19 in the film I watched? Rashawn Slater, and he's incredible. I'm taking that dude all day, every day, no problem. He's my first guy. That doesn't mean Penei Sewell is terrible. Now,
Slater's in the feet, actually, to me, Slater, the feet's the best thing he has.
Yes.
For everything you just named, which is incredible.
Yeah.
His feet move like offensive tackles' feet don't move. Like, he's always in control. He's as fast or as quick as he needs to be, no matter what the block is. He's got it. He's super, super good, and he front squats 3 reps at 495. So,
Jeff,
that's nice.
So when I watched the video, right, I was like, oh, this isn't impressive. He's just about to squat 5 plates. I've seen high schoolers do this. Then he flips. And I go, oh, he's front squatting the shit. Then he did it 3 times. I'm like, okay, this dude, that's my guy.
To the ground. He's nasty. Okay, he's nasty. Slater and Sewell are really, really good. Odds are the Cowboys won't have one of them. Hell, maybe they will. And the good news is if the NFL feels the way that everybody else talks about it, then you got a real shot at Rashawn Slater, and that would be a lot of fun.
Sure.
Lawson Floyd, my guy, appreciate you. He wants to know about O-lineman we could get in round 2. Formula wants us to shut up about offensive tackles because they need help defensively. We're going to talk about all the defense. We're going to talk about all the comp picks. Cowboys got 4 more picks in the draft, a 3, a 4, a 5, a 6. So I believe all they're missing is their original 5. And they've got now 10 picks, 2 3s, 2 4s, 2 6s, 1 5, whatever. They got a lot of picks.
This ain't even only a Cowboy show with your selfish ass. We just want to give general draft knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Like
jerk. Okay, I got Tevin Jenkins at Oklahoma State right ahead of Christian Darrisaw. Both first rounders though. I got Jenkins ahead of Darrisaw, and I think that's opposite of a lot of the draft community. But it's because look, Voch. If you don't follow Voch, follow Voch, because he'll watch offensive line before me. And when I watch him, I'll be like, oh, yeah, that's what Voch was saying. Darisaw and Jenkins play the game totally differently. Yes. So Tevin Jenkins plays right tackle for Oklahoma State. Mm-hmm. Christian Darisaw plays left tackle for Virginia Tech. Mm-hmm. Christian Darisaw hadn't let up a sack in 2 years, and he's really, really good. He has every physical tool you want an offensive lineman to have. Yes. He makes all the blocks. Mm-hmm. But, boy, when he is done making the block, he is done with that play. Yes. And if he has to, he looks bored, yes. And Tevin Jenkins looks like he wants to snap you in half. Yes. Like he dominated Joseph Osai. Yes. And Texas fans are going to tell you, Osai had 3 sacks in that game. He did. He had a great game, mm-hmm. But when he went up against Tevin Jenkins, Osai against Jenkins is what's going to get Jenkins taken in the first round, because Jenkins dominated him, bullied him, dominated him. The way he approaches it is just, I'm a monster. And he's not super long, and he plays right tackle and not left. And his tape early in the year, I forget who I watched, it was like the 3rd game of the year, mm-hmm. was inconsistent and just okay. Mm-hmm. And then the later you get in the year, he got better. And you were like, holy crap, he's a monster. Yeah. So he's my 3rd offensive tackle, Darisaw, who I think is also a first-round player. But you said it. You said lazy because you're a jerk. Yeah. But he does. He kind of looks bored. Like he's just like, did the job. What's next?
I think because teams can't draft, I think Darisaw might go before Slater. I honestly think that somebody's going to like Darisaw enough to take him around that top 10 range. That's good for us drafting
because he looks the part.
Because he looks the part. And to be fair, he's very physically impressive. But when you drafting, we got to do this thing called project. So we got to look for these little tools that when you use them on the next level, what would it be like? And you see him smoking like Quincy Roche. You see him smoking the Duke kids. Those guys are draft eligible as well. So he's beating like good talent, you know what I mean? But It's just you see him beating them because he's just talented enough to beat them. I can make the argument that Tevin Jenkins isn't as talented as him, but Tevin's finishing ability, like his anger, that he brings to the table, bumps him up that level. Not that Tevin's not talented. It's just, I think Darisaw, his size is just super incredible with his arm length. He has strength. You just don't know it because you rarely see him trying to finish people because he doesn't move in that way. There was a play, like I said, Texas film, he's smoking Osai. If you watch the Oklahoma film, Ronnie Perkins got one good play on him. But
and everybody tweets it out, and I tweeted it out because I was like, oh, that's a nice play. But, I mean, he did not get beat by Ronnie Perkins. He got long-armed once, but he did not get beat by Ronnie Perkins.
But the rest of that Oklahoma film is super impressive. Right. I don't consider Tevin Jenkins. It's crazy that everybody that they want to move to guard, I think, are just fine at tackles. Like Slater, Tevin Jenkins, Leatherwood or whatever. I think they're fine at tackle. And Penei Sewell is the one guy that they don't want to put at guard that I think would be incredible at guard because in a phone booth, I think he can whoop everybody.
Leatherwood might be okay. So let's just keep going because Leatherwood is actually my next tackle. He's my first guy in the 2nd round, and I also have him as a 2nd round or end of the 1st round guard.
Sure,
because he is the one guy. The reason that I would do it is I don't love pretty much everything about Leatherwood's game. Yeah. Like, is there power? Yes. Is there finishing? Yes. Sure. Can he pull? Yes. Like he can do everything. But I do think when you put him against good athletes in space out there, that sometimes it's like a struggle to get to the edge with them. And if you've got quickness, I may not be able to get there with you. So with him, I kind of get it where you could be like, okay, as a fallback, if he doesn't look like he's going to be a great tackle for us, I can put him at guard. For Slater, I would be picking him and saying, that's my left tackle for the next 15 years. Sure. If something super weird happens, I'm sure he can play guard. But with Leatherwood, I could see if a team wants to play him at guard. I like him. 2nd round, top, middle of the 2nd round.
Leatherwood's one of those dudes to where if you isolate him, he's not great. But in the machine of that Alabama offensive line, he's doing his damn job. The one thing I'm constantly walking away saying with Leatherwood is that he's too big to play like Jonah Williams. You know what I mean? Because sometimes because he's either or. If it's a small guy, he can get movement on that small guy, right? But if it's like another player, he shows evidence that he can move really well. But sometimes the quicker guy just smokes him, right? If you watch the Senior Bowl practices, Quincy Roche was just smoking the hell out of Leatherwood, running past that outside shoulder.
Which is weird because Roche is not that explosive. Sure. But at the Senior Bowl, he looked like he was.
And that could be because he was going against Leatherwood. I don't know. But I've seen Leatherwood look really good against quick. Like, I've seen him show really quick feet, but I've also seen really quick people run past him, so I really don't know what to do with that. I'm not doing rankings until April because I keep watching film and I keep liking guys more than the first 5 or so guys I watch. Like Sam Cosmi just plummets down my list the more guys I watch.
I got him. He's my third round kind of guy. Like
Sure.
he's all right. Like I think he could be an NFL starter, but I don't like him as much as I like a couple other guys.
Yeah, but Leatherwood's fine. So in my mind, if you put him on an offensive line that's sort of established already, sure, go ahead. But if he got to be like Becton, where he's the only good dude on your line, and he just got to stand out, then you might have a problem.
Liam Eichenberg, Notre Dame, is actually my next tackle,
Sure.
and I like Eichenberg, and he is boring.
Solid, super solid.
Yes,
Super
like,
solid.
is he a great run blocker? No. Is he super strong? No. Is he super athletic? No. But does he get beat? Not really. So like to me, that is a guy that gets picked in the 40s, 50s, 60s. And you're like, you know what? If you can do in the league what you were doing at Notre Dame, which is just your job, that works. That plays for a decade.
And that's the problem, though, because in draft we have to project. And
Right.
I never really see him physically impose himself against anybody in college. So if you get to the league and everybody's better than that, then you have to kind of project and see where he would land. The one bail that I do cut him in the pass game, the one thing that he's perfect at, that he does better than everybody else, is that he deals with bull rush better than everybody. Because he's not a strong dude. And you see people pick him up and move him, but he anchors, drops his butt, bends his knees so well, and he gives ground slowly, and that's how you deal with pass rushes. So where a guy like Leatherwood is just turn around and scream run for your life, he sinks down into the ground and stops people. Now he's not going to stunt anybody at the line. He's not going to quick set somebody and they just stop moving at the line of scrimmage. So you just kind of got to figure out what the hell you may want with that. I've heard some people say guard for him. I think that's nonsense as well.
Yeah, I do too.
You know what I'm saying? Just leave him at tackle and just, see what you can get from him. Just don't draft him over somebody that you really like. But Eichenberg is fine.
After him, I got Cosme and Clemson dude Carmen as like third round guys. Maybe Carmen's in the fourth round. I watched, Christensen at BYU. I put him in like the fifth round. I didn't really like him.
Yeah, Carmenson is – so, look, this is my problem once again with the hype shit, because everybody go, yo, Voch, what you think about Carman from Clemson? And I fell asleep. And
he might develop into a starting NFL tackle.
And this the bad thing about Christensen, right? If you like a fan of him, you have to kind of figure out what order in which you want to watch the film on him. Because I watched him versus the BYU sorry team opponents, and he was bad versus them. But the last film I watched on him was versus Houston, and Peyton Turner ain't no bitch, and Peyton Turner picked on his ass all day. And it was hilarious, and it was very fun, and I'm not drafting him just based on that. So, I mean, sixth round, possibly fifth round, maybe, but I'm not touching him. I'm not a fan of Brady Christensen from BYU.
And he's also, with the BYU guys, if you don't dominate, you got to really think about that, because he did the 2-year mission, so he's 24, 25 years old.
Sure.
I need you to beat the crap out of 19-year-olds.
Yeah.
I need you to. And then I watched the Alabama interior guys too. I watched your guy Brown, and I watched Dickerson. I love Dickerson.
Now, see, Jeff, look, you don't like offensive line, but these guys will make you love offensive line, dog.
I love Dickerson because he's the angriest offensive. Like Tevin Jenkins is angry. Yeah. Landon Dickerson's angry as hell too. Landon Dickerson, the center for Alabama, when they are in pass pro, anytime there's not somebody coming right down the gut, like in that situation, if that were Christian Darrisaw, he'd be like, sweet, I don't have to do anything. Yep. Dickerson's like, which guy's getting blindsided? Like, who am I going to destroy? He's fun. Like, athletically, he's not perfect, but I think he's plenty strong. I think he could play center or guard. I think he could do it in any scheme because I think he moves well. I think he's super smart. You're not tricking him on a stunt. If Dickerson hadn't had both ankles and both knees in different years, 4 years, one left ankle, one right ankle, one left knee, one right knee, I'd have him as a lock as a first rounder. I think his tape is really good. But I bet the injuries may knock him down to the second round, but I love Dickerson.
I take a first round anyway. Let me ask you a question. Would you ever consider playing him at guard?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Just watching the class or whatever, what you're gonna see is there's this trend that centers just end up being like smaller guards or whatever. So if you watch David Moore from Grambling or you watch Creed Humphrey, like they look big relatively, but they kind of small to your eyes or whatever. Landon is as big as everybody else on the Alabama offensive line. Like he's a huge ass dude. So
I was surprised when people said he has short arms because I'm like, man, he must just play with really good forward lean because he doesn't strike me as having short arms at all.
I care nothing about the numbers at this point. If he's smoking the shit out of people on film, then I'm a roll with Landon Dickerson. Now, this ain't a Cowboy show, but if I had to make this very Cowboy particular, if I have an opportunity to draft Landon Dickerson,
at 44, I'd do it for sure.
Let me just put that dude at guard and move on my life, man. Hell yeah, just like that.
Or put him at center. I mean, be honest, you don't own this position. We're gonna see. We're gonna compete.
Oh man, best five, Jeff, best five. But yeah, I'm a huge Dickerson fan. I like Dickerson better than some of these tackles out here. So go ahead.
Lawson Floyd, I appreciate you. He says offensive line we get in round 2. That's kind of what we're going through right now. Let's see. Unknown. Can you rank the 2020 and 2021 top offensive tackle prospects? I think that would be a mix-up of Slater and Sewell, along with, in that year, I would have said Jedrick Wills and Tristan Wirfs. And they both were studs as rookies. So I think these two dudes are probably going to be studs as rookies. Waddle and Pitts there at the 10th pick. I'm actually taking Waddle. Pitts is a freak. I'd fall in love with dudes that no one can run with. It's dumb. And Adrian, my dream, if you can get Patrick Peterson and Dalvin in free agency, Slater, Grant, or JOK in the draft, what you think? Slater, Grant, or JOK? Well, you got to get either Slater or JOK and Grant. And now you're cooking with something. I appreciate you, Adrian. And Hamza, do you think the Cowboys make the NFC Championship game? I think the safe bet is no, but they got a chance. All right, your guy, Deontay Brown. It's your guy.
Sure.
Like him, don't love him. I think he's team specific.
I think go ahead.
I think he, like, his foot quickness in pass pro when he's mirroring is really good for a dude that big.
Yes.
And they'll do stuff where they'll have him pull around, even in pass protection, from left guard to right tackle and pass protect that way. And he can do that just fine. But when you see plays where, like, they'll pull him and Dickerson, like, Dickerson has to wait for. So I don't know if you would want him on a team that's running like the outside zone and we're all flowing and I think you want him to just line up and beat the crap out of the dude in front of him. Like, you want to put him in Baltimore.
Yeah.
Where we're running gap scheme, blow that dude up, be good in pass protection, be a monster, because he is a monster. He's a freaking refrigerator.
Sure.
I just don't know how much I would love him in the run game if you're doing a bunch of like wide zone stuff.
Yeah. He's one of my favorite players, but that's not like a team particular situation, whatever. Like just based on what he's good at, because that's something else that I'm learning too. Being draft analyzed dude or whatever, I no longer want to say what a guy can't do. I want to say how good do they do what they do. And if you keep him in his lane and just tell him to do what he do, that's something that's going to be incredible for you. Plus, I mean, somebody's probably going to make him lose 10. He's what, like 350 or something, 340?
I think he's like 350, yeah, maybe even 360.
Somebody going to make him get down to like 320 or so, right?
Yeah.
And then you'll kind of see where he goes from there. He's
a lot of power, good feet too.
Sure.
A lot of power and good feet.
Sure. He's like a third, fourth round guy for me, but if I can get him in the fourth round, I will gladly take that dude in the fourth round, just kick the tires and just.
So he's my guy then, because I got him mid-second to early third.
I think, and I was that guy too, but then I started thinking about, okay, cool. Okay.
You start seeing more guys too. You've seen more guys
the
than
more
I have.
guys we watched. Okay, Jeff. Okay, would you take Marvin Wilson or Deontay Brown?
Marvin Wilson.
Would you take Tyree Gillespie or Deontay Brown?
Oh, I got them graded at the same spot. Gillespie or Brown. I'll take Gillespie. I think it'd be easier to find an interior offensive lineman.
Peyton Turner or Deontay Brown?
Peyton Turner.
So Deontay's like late third, early fourth for you. You just don't know it yet. So
that might be where he ends up.
You know
I got Peyton Turner as a second. Like I could take Peyton Turner at 44. I really like him. I might like him more than most people. I could take him at 44.
I love Peyton Turner, and I badly want to cuss people out every time they say Greg Russo is long and quick. I want to be like, well, Peyton Turner got an 84 inch wingspan.
And he uses it.
And he's big enough to play inside, and he turns better than Russo. So I don't even know why we even talk about this kid. Because Peyton Turner is everything that y'all saying good about this dude. Plus, he puts it on the film. I'm not gonna say nothing else. But Deontay Brown, yes, he's one of those dudes for me. If you want to follow up on another edge guy conversation, because we got to get into Ronnie Perkins and we got to talk to people about Peyton Turner, we can do it. We can do that on another day. We running low on time. Shit, Jeff. But have you watched any other offensive linemen, sir?
Christensen, Carmen, Brown, Leatherwood, Eichenberg, No, I haven't. So fill me in. Fill in the blanks.
I mean, I can just tell you who to watch whenever we get up off here, but I got super chats too. I mean, you've been over there running down your guys. My people.
Rip. What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say? I'm being selfish.
So what you want me to say, Playboy? What you want me to say?
Content creators are selfish.
We can do what we want. The Tribe dropped 5. That rhymes. Oh, that triple rhyme. Goddamn. Ain't no way we getting Slater, huh? Ravens fans here. Ravens fan, or you ain't getting Raiders. He's not getting there. Have you watched Dylan Redunes from North Dakota State?
I've not.
Senior Bowl guy. You should watch him.
I've heard that.
Dylan Redunes. His film is weird, but his Senior Bowl tape shows that he took this time off to get better. So I'll just leave you to that. Adrian Lindsey dropped a deuce and says protect 4 at all costs. Indeed, he's talking about offensive line there. The Tribe dropped another deuce and says also Dak got his money. Time for Lamar. Hey, let Lamar get his bread and bump Dak down as high as paid one more time. Frankie Franchise dropped 5. I think he dropped some on yours as well. Appreciate you. He says we cleared up cap space. We talking about offensive line. Y'all motherfuckers want to talk about everything but offensive line.
Well, they did. They actually restructured 3 offensive linemen, so they may not even be picking and looking at an offensive lineman because Tyron was one of them. So, Lyle too.
Who could we pick up in free agency at offensive line, or do we strictly go defense? What they're gonna do is sign every damn spot, and then they're gonna just draft. So that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna make it to where we can run a team out today. That old quote, and then they're gonna go BPA or whatever. Which will probably be offense. So that's all for me. Yep, that's all for me. All right.
I want to just shout out to Voch because I do a lot of shit at like 6 o'clock on the day we're going to do Scoutcast, and I'm just like, hey, can we? And Voch is just like down for whatever, and he's really, really good at this, and I enjoy working with him. So I just want to salute to you, sir, and make sure everybody on my side you are following Voch Lombardi. He does good shit. He's ahead of me on the offensive line right now, so follow his shit.
Wow. Big hug, Wakanda forever, all that good shit, you know what I'm saying? We'll do this again. I'm going on vacation, y'all. I know I'm constantly going on vacation.
You were just on vacation.
When you're a content creator, you can vacate all you like. I'm going to Natchez to go be with my people. Then I'm moving in 2 weeks, so the channel will be in flux. But I'll be watching this thing live. I'm going to be doing a live broadcast on my channel for the draft. Last draft was the reason I got a new computer because my audience was so big, my little goofy ass MacBook couldn't hold it. So y'all the reason why I got this big ass setup, this big ass setup right here.
Well done, everybody.
Y'all the reason. So we gonna have a spiffy ass stream this year. Jeff probably gonna be doing radio and internet for Cowboys.
Man, I would love to do a thing for 3 whole days with super chats allowed. I'm just gonna accept my salary. I'm just gonna take my salary and be on there the entire time.
Now, Jeff, we're gonna talk now. When we hit stop streaming in 2 seconds, I'm gonna tell you something very sneaky you might be able to do. All right, y'all hold it down. The Lunatic dropped a deuce. Appreciate you. Doneto y dos because he speaks Spanish. And Malcolm Davis dropped 5. Maurice Jones drew mock Javon Holland 10, and I wanted to smack the shit out of him. I appreciate you, Malcolm. I agree, man. Y'all hold it down for the Doski. This was a very short show. We'll be back next week, man. Salute. Peace.